warm evening here in Austin, Texas, and here's what's happening now. Garrett Gilbert, the starting quarterback, lost the job after the summer scrimmage and regained it. Started 3 for 4, but since that time has missed on his last 4. Here's what's coming up ahead. We'll take a look at Texas's schedule. It seems to be a very auspicious one for them, potentially. On 1st and 10 from their own 20. Bergeron into the boundary, gets about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
You know, Bergeron was a 2- or 3-star recruit, of course, in a 5-star system. And the guy who was coming in that everybody wanted to see, of course, was Malcolm Brown. But they really like this young man. He's going to probably become their short yardage back eventually.
Gets another carry here. Stopped up just short of the 1st down. His forward progress at about the 29. It'll be 3rd down and 1 coming up. Xavier Webb making the stop for Rice.
I think 3rd down and 1 is such a great opportunity for an offensive coordinator to get creative. I'd like to see something here. They again, a little vanilla except for the Wildcat with Jackson Shipley getting DJ Monroe in. But you know, you're sitting here up 10-3. You haven't really, you let one go to Davis. Davis has got that speed. He's down here at the bottom of the screen. Maybe you uncork another one.
Eddie Johnson, their short yardage back in the backfield. He gets the carry, got stoned and kept those legs going to get the 1st down. Got a good block, and Justin Allen had him wrapped up and couldn't bring him down.
Jamison Berryhill, the fullback, gets a really nice block at the point of attack, but it was defensive lineman that got inside. Good job by Johnson. Again, spinning off the exact same thing he did down on the goal line.
New quarterback in the ball game. David Ash in. He hands it off. That's DJ Monroe, one of the faster tailbacks.
Well, I'm frankly a little surprised that David Ash is in the game. Kind of running neck and neck with Case McCoy for that 2nd position, but this young man, a true freshman who came in for spring ball. They've liked him from day one. He looks the part, but
how much of a surprise is that?
It's a big surprise. I'm not sure. It didn't look to me like Gilbert got dinged, and to do that, you know, maybe you don't want to walk the freshman off the bench at the beginning of a series. You want to bring him in the middle.
Well, he completes his first pass here to DJ Monroe. And a nice open field tackle that time after the gain of 2 yards. Callahan making the stop. And Gilbert coming back onto the field. How fragile do you think Garrett Gilbert's psyche still is? If you put in a freshman like that, do you risk losing it?
Well, if you had it in the plan and you covered it with the guys before the game, which is likely what they did, not at all. You just say, look, he's earned the right to play a little bit. A little surprised that they roll him in when they're trying to get their offense going. You know, I think sometimes you think, let's get a quarterback in, and you just don't need to. Let your offense kind of marinate a little bit. It's a brand new deal.
3rd and 2. Gilbert talked about his mobility and showing off those wheels. Rolling on 22s all the way down for the 1st down. Well, that doesn't seem like a confidence-shaken quarterback right there.
And this is something that Brian Harsin worked very hard during camp with Gilbert on, because he's a very good runner. I don't know that he's as good as Colt McCoy, obviously not as good as Vince Young, but decent change of direction. But what he is, he's got a really nice long stride. So he's not very quick. He's not going to make people miss. But when he decides to take off, which is what Harsin has been telling him, just choose to go faster. That time, really nice job.
Whitaker the lone back on 1st and 10. Whitaker on the toss. And he gets out to the 30. He got about 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. You know, Brian Harsin, the offensive coordinator, brought up a good point. At Boise State, he had Zabransky, who had a 20 interception season one year, so he's used to dealing with a quarterback who has to be nurtured the right way.
And it was interesting when he said about Jared Zabransky. Of course, Zabransky the next year, Boise State goes undefeated and wins the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma. But what he talked to him about is accountability. You know, yeah, a lot of other people made mistakes, but let's look at what we can fix of you. And, you know, yeah, other people made mistakes. We got a lot to fix with you.
Tucked it under, but then passed it complete. Right around the 20-yard line. That was Darius White, the 6'3" sophomore. And it's a 10-yard pickup, another 1st down. A very enterprising effort that time by Garrett Gilbert.
Well, now they start to get a little bit of the move of the pocket and such a better job. You saw him that time turn his shoulders. Remember, we showed on the highlight last year, when he was on the move, his shoulders were all over the place. That looked really nice.
Bergeron, the deep back, out of the offset eye. Gilbert steps up. Had a man open, but it's incomplete, intended for Mike Davis. And you get the feeling Gilbert liked to have that one back. He's second down and 10.
Well, Paul Porras comes on a blitz, and this is how you blitz. Watch as he goes and
wow.
Joe Bergeron, true freshman, welcome to college football. That's what they do when they blitz with the big boy leagues.
It's called pass protection, right?
Yeah. Those true freshmen, they didn't have to pass protect. They were running for 3,000 yards in high school. Well, better put your big boy pants on, Joe.
Tight play of the drive on the fly sweep. This is Shipley making like his brother. And he stepped out of bounds back inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. Well, they say that Jackson Shipley might even be a little bit further along than his brother Jordan was at the same stage.
Now there's the freeze where they're saying he went out of bounds. I think they're going to call this a touchdown.
Wow,
pardon me. When they call it out of bounds on the field, you cannot review that because they blow the whistle. Now the officials are told if it's close, let the play go and then let the review it. But you cannot review this because once it's called out of bounds. But as we saw, boy, it sure looked like there was some green between his outside of his foot and the white.
First and goal. Handoff, and Bergeron stopped up immediately by Justin Allen. Transfer from Idaho. A 2-yard loss on the play. It'll be second and goal.
This is what you call a blown assignment. Well, there you go. You know what? We were wrong. From that angle, it did look like Shipley and the linesman was right on it. So stand corrected. Did look like his foot was out of bounds.
Terry Porter, our replay official today. Ozzie Whitaker, the deep back. 12th play of the drive for the Longhorns. Second and goal. Gilbert squeezes it in, and I mean squeezes it in to Mike Davis. And third and goal coming up after the 3-yard gain.
You know, one play that they worked on, a route that they worked on really hard, Texas, the other day in practice, is what's called a fade back shoulder throw, where the receiver acts like he's running a fade, and then Gilbert actually throws a low, hard pass to the backside, outside shoulder of the receiver.
Are you thinking 4 down here territory? Are you going for it? Or are you thinking field?
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Good call. So maybe you could run a quarterback draw or something here. That's an excellent idea.
Whitaker in motion. Flag down. Gilbert almost intercepted. Looked like there were a lot of moving parts there for Texas offensively. The flag was thrown. It was tipped by Michael Smith up front. Brian Harsin had some interesting comments in how he's implementing this thing stage by stage to us, didn't he?
There's so much information that goes into this offense.
Illegal shift by the offense. 2 players were moving and did not reset. The penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
Sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan.
Yeah, and now, you know, if you would have gotten, say, down to 4th and 1 or inside the 1, maybe you go for it. But now, put the 3 on the board, go up 10.
But in comes Justin Tucker. Made one earlier from 39 yards out. This one coming from 23 yards away. Tucker, the team's punter as well as the place kicker. Snap was a little bit off, and Tucker tucks it inside that left upright. And Texas takes a 10-point lead with 6 minutes to go here in the first half in their season opener. They've won 39 out of 40 against Rice. Back with more from Austin right after this. And welcome back, everyone, to Austin, Texas Memorial Stadium. Rice so far offensively, Kalen McGarg, the quarterback, 9 of 15 for just 46 yards. And Garrett Gilbert, who's been scrutinized for many months going back to last Thanksgiving, 6 of 13 for 86 yards.
And he was pulled out of that drive, and Samantha Steele was just reporting that it was part of the plan. Ash was warming up. But now a lot of people were wondering coming out of camp who was second string. Now you know. You don't play David Ash, a true freshman. Even though if he doesn't play after the third game, you could still petition for a red shirt. But to me, if you were planning to play him in this game, he's clearly your second string quarterback.
From the 5, it's Charles Ross. And that great return out to midfield last time. This time he's brought down shy of the 20 at the 18-yard line by Aaron Benson. Well, folks, the Mack Brown Radio Show on the Longhorn Network, Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central Time. Put your eyes on Texas, and I think that scowl might be turning around a little bit. That furrowed brow might be disappearing if things continue to trend this way. And Mack Brown telling us yesterday that he's having as much fun now, Ed, as he's ever had in his 14 years as head coach here at Texas. And a lot of it the result of the 6 new coaches and the youthful energy that they've infused in the program. First down and 10.
When you go out to practice, it's impossible not to notice it. There is a big difference.
Handoff. Peterson was in at quarterback.
You know,
Tyler Smith on the carry.
Sorry, Mark. I've been around Mack Brown for many, many, many years, and you know, a lot of people, when you look at that 5 and 7 year, you forget the year before. The best player, arguably in college football, Colt McCoy, gets hurt on the first series of the national championship game. So you don't even have everything you need to compete in that game. He said, it's so hard to get there. I didn't realize how much it had knocked out of me until I was able to step away from last season and see that and he admitted it hurt my focus a little bit.
Peterson gets the first down. And, you know, back to Mack Brown, you know, there was a personal variable to his tragedy as well. He lost his mother just 23 days after losing to Alabama in that national championship game. And he admits that he didn't bounce back as well as he would have liked to or as well as he wanted to. But, of course, when you're faced with that kind of circumstance, nobody really knows. Peterson again. And Peterson out to the 35-yard line. I thought it was interesting the way that Mack Brown talked about the input now that he takes from different sources, and the leadership committee consisting of seniors and a couple juniors on the team, and some interesting suggestions that they made. We'll tell you about those after this play. 2nd and 5. Rice could really help themselves getting some points before the end of the half here. Peterson again almost broke that tackle, brought down at the 37-yard line. But back to that leadership committee. What do you make of the fact that they came to Coach Brown and said, Coach, we need more clocks?
Well, there was a problem because, like all good coaches, 5 minutes as early as on time. And so the player said, you know, Coach, that's all good. But if you look around our building, there are not enough clocks. Please put more clocks up. So he acquiesced, and I think they have a clock in every room now.
Should be on time for class, too. 3rd and 2 coming up for the Owls. Peterson again. And that's going to be real close. Depending on the spot, it looks like he may have gotten the first down out to the 40-yard line. Jackson Jeffcoat making the stop on the play.
Awfully conservative play calling right now for Rice. I mean, they've got a guy in McHarg who in the first quarter showed he's got plenty of arm, but John Reagan in his first game playing calls feels like he's dialed it back a little too much right now.
First and 10. Yet to see the Owls take a shot downfield. Texas bringing some heat. Boy, they got it off in time. It should have been caught. A little bit high for Randy Kitchens.
Yeah, you want that one back. Kitchens, a guy who's been up and down so many different times in his career with injuries and different things. But that ball, yeah, he should be.